What if I told you that the way the world treats you has nothing to do with luck, status, or circumstances? What if I told you it starts and ends with you, not your job, not your past, not your bank balance, background, or where you came from? The world responds to how you show up, and the way you show up is shaped by the story you tell yourself about yourself. The truth is, people will only treat you as well as you treat yourself. If you walk through life with your head down, unsure of your worth, silently begging for validation, life will reflect that energy right back at you. But if you walk in with self-respect, calm confidence, and a clear sense of who you are, then the world has no choice but to adjust. Doors begin to open. People listen when you speak. Respect finds you before you even ask for it. This isn't arrogance, it's alignment. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If your thoughts are weak, uncertain, and filled with doubt, your life will mirror that weakness. But when your inner world becomes strong, steady, and self-assured, your outer world bends to match. Your self-image is a mirror the world reflects. So the question is, how do you see yourself? Do you see someone worthy of love, success, and respect, or someone who needs to earn it, prove it, or beg for it? This video is for anyone who's tired of feeling invisible, tired of being overlooked, tired of playing small while knowing, deep down, you're meant for more. Because here's the truth, when you change the way you see yourself, everything changes. Relationships shift, opportunities multiply. Your presence alone begins to speak louder than your words. And this transformation isn't found in a fake smile or forced positivity. It comes from deep, internal work that the Stoics understood over 2,000 years ago. They taught that true strength begins within, that mastering yourself is the foundation for mastering your life. So today, I'll share 7 powerful mindset shifts that will help you rebuild how you see yourself, and as a result, transform how the world treats you. Each principle is grounded in Stoic wisdom, fused with modern self-empowerment, and designed to help you create a mindset so unshakable, the world has no choice but to rise to your level. You don't need to chase respect. You need to embody it. You don't need to beg for attention. You need to command it by owning your space, owning your value, and walking through life like someone who finally remembers who they are. So, if you're ready to step into the highest version of yourself, if you're ready to be seen, heard, and respected, not because you yelled louder, but because your presence now speaks for you. Let's begin. Number 1, own your worth without apology. If you don't claim your worth, the world will never offer it to you. Let that sink in. Because whether you realize it or not, you're constantly training people how to treat you by what you tolerate, by how you speak about yourself, by how you carry yourself when no one's watching. The world is always listening to your energy. It reads your body language before it hears your words. And if your presence says, "I'm not enough," then the world will believe you. It will treat you like you're optional, because that's how you've treated yourself. But the moment you draw a line, the moment you decide to stop apologizing for existing, everything begins to change. Epictetus said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." That's not just philosophy, that's strategy. Because when you know who you are, when you're rooted in your value, you don't need to chase validation. You don't shrink to make others comfortable. You don't ask permission to take up space. You own your worth without apology. Understand this. Your worth isn't measured by what you produce. It's not based on your salary, your status, or how many people approve of you. Your worth is inherent. It's in your breath. It's in your being. It's in your ability to rise again and again, no matter who counted you out. But here's the trap. If you don't believe that, you'll spend your entire life trying to earn something you already have. You'll overgive just to be seen. You'll over-explain just to feel understood. You'll bend yourself out of shape just to feel accepted. That stops now. When you own your worth, You stop waiting for someone else to validate your value. You stop giving discounts on your time, your energy, and your peace. You stop settling for relationships, jobs, and friendships that drain you because you finally know what you deserve. And the world notices. Because confidence doesn't shout, it radiates. You'll walk differently. You'll speak differently. You'll stop asking, "Do they like me?" and start asking, "Do they align with who I am?" And that shift, that is what magnetizes respect, opportunity, and high-value people into your life. This is not arrogance. It's self-respect. It's understanding that playing small doesn't serve anyone. Shrinking doesn't make you noble. Denying your light doesn't make you humble. It just keeps you invisible. The world treats you the way you treat yourself. So today, make a silent vow to stop apologizing, to stop hiding, to stop giving away your power for the sake of acceptance. You were never meant to beg for respect. You were meant to embody it. I am worthy of love, respect, and success. I will no longer play small. Number 2, speak to yourself like someone you respect. The way you speak to yourself is the foundation of your entire reality. You may not notice it at first. It hides in the background, in the quiet moments when no one's around. But it's there, whispering, shaping, defining who you believe you are and what you think you deserve. If your inner voice constantly tells you, "You're not enough, you're going to fail, they're better than you," then every step you take will feel like you're walking through a battlefield of your own mind. Marcus Aurelius said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." He didn't say the world had to change. He didn't say you needed to prove yourself. He said the secret was within, in your thoughts, your perceptions, your inner dialogue. So, here's the truth. If you want the world to see you with respect, you must start by speaking to yourself with it. Think about it. Would you ever talk to your closest friend the way you talk to yourself? Would you tear them down, criticize their every move, remind them of their failures, and call it motivation? Of course not. So why do you do it to yourself? That voice inside your head. It's always listening, and every time you speak with doubt, fear, or shame, you reinforce a version of you that isn't even real. You begin to expect rejection. You subconsciously seek out situations that confirm those beliefs. And before you know it, your world begins to reflect your inner storm. But here's the power. You can change that voice. You can rewire the way you speak to yourself. You can challenge the critic. You can rewrite the script. Because that voice, it's not you, it's a habit. And habits can be broken. From this point forward, speak life into yourself. Tell yourself the truth, that you're capable, that you're resilient, that you've already survived everything you thought would break you. Tell yourself that you matter, not because someone else said it, but because you decided it. Your mind can become your worst enemy, or your most powerful ally. The choice is yours. When you begin to speak to yourself like someone you respect, everything shifts. You stop walking into rooms trying to earn approval. You enter already owning your value. You stop waiting for people to believe in you. You become the proof. Because once your inner world aligns with power, the outer world reflects it. Start there. Speak to yourself with strength, with compassion, with clarity. And soon, the world will echo it back. Affirmation. I speak to myself with power and compassion. My words build the world I walk in. Number 3. Set boundaries that protect your peace. There is no strength in being endlessly available, no pride in letting others drain you, disrespect you, or disregard your needs. Let's be clear, boundaries are not selfish. They're survival. They are the language of self-respect. The invisible lines that say, I value my time, I value my energy, I value myself. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." Adversity includes the challenge of standing firm, of protecting your peace even when it's uncomfortable, of drawing the line even when it risks upsetting someone else. You prove yourself not by how much you endure, but by how clearly you protect what matters most: your mind, your spirit, your sense of self. And understand this: boundaries are not walls, they're gates. You're not shutting the world out, you're choosing who and what gets in. You're not becoming cold, you're becoming clear. You're not being rude, you're being real. If you constantly say yes when your soul is screaming no, you're teaching people that your comfort doesn't matter. If you allow disrespect just to keep the peace, you're sacrificing your own. That's not kindness. That's self-abandonment. And here's the truth: the world mirrors your standards. If you don't respect your boundaries, no one else will. If you allow people to overstep, they'll keep doing it because you've shown them it's okay. But when you stand tall and protect your peace, something changes. You start attracting people who value your energy because they can see you value it first. You stop tolerating chaos. You stop explaining yourself. You become unavailable to anything that drains your soul. It's not your job to be everything to everyone. Your job is to be true to yourself. That's where your peace is. That's where your power lives. So ask yourself, who am I allowing too much access to? What am I tolerating that violates my peace? Where do I need to say no, not out of anger, but out of love for myself? Boundaries are declarations. They say, this is where I end, and you begin. They create space for growth, for clarity, for peace to take root. And once you start living this way, everything shifts. You become calm. You become focused. You become unshakable, because peace is not just a feeling, it's a practice, and it starts with the courage to protect what makes you whole. Affirmation: I set clear boundaries that protect my energy. My peace is my priority, and I guard it with strength and love. Number 4, carry yourself like you belong in every room. Confidence isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's not about arrogance or overcompensation. Real confidence is quiet, steady, unshakable. It doesn't scream, it radiates. Because true confidence doesn't seek permission, it moves with certainty. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the truth. The moment you stop outsourcing your worth to opinions, validation, or circumstances, you reclaim your power. You realize you don't need to be accepted by anyone to accept yourself. Confidence begins internally. It's how you speak to yourself before you step into the room. It's how you carry your shoulders, how you breathe, how you hold eye contact, not out of ego, but from alignment. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to prove anything. You just need to own your space like you've earned it, because you have. Walk into every room like your presence matters, because it does. Don't shrink to fit. Don't overcompensate to impress. Just be real, be grounded, be you, fully and unapologetically. Because when you believe you belong, the world believes it too. Think about it. Energy introduces you before words ever do. People pick up on your vibe before they hear your voice, and if you walk in unsure, the world mirrors that uncertainty. But when you enter a space with quiet power, with grounded presence, something shifts. People pay attention, they listen more closely, they treat you with more weight, not because you demanded it, but because you carried yourself like someone who expects it. And remember, belonging doesn't mean blending in. It means owning your place no matter what room you're in. Whether it's a job interview, a boardroom, a gym, or a dinner table, you deserve to be there. You bring value, you bring presence, and you don't need to diminish that to make others comfortable. So practice this. The next time you step into a space, do it with intent. Shoulders back, chin up, breathe deeply. Think to yourself, I belong here because I decided I do. Because when you see yourself as valuable, when you hold that vision in your body, in your voice, in your energy, others feel it. They don't question it. They respond to it. They respect it. That's the power of carrying yourself like you belong. You stop chasing approval. You start commanding respect, silently. Affirmation: I move with purpose and presence. I belong wherever I choose to be. Number 5, stop apologizing for existing. You were not born to shrink. You weren't placed on this earth to tiptoe around your truth, to dilute your presence, or to make everyone else comfortable while you suffocate in silence. You were born to shine, to speak, to take up space, to live fully, unapologetically, and on purpose. But somewhere along the way, you were taught to apologize for simply being. You were told to calm down, to fit in, to not want too much. And so, you shrunk yourself to fit into boxes that were never made for you. You started saying sorry just for existing, sorry for speaking up, sorry for having standards, sorry for wanting more. But here's the truth. Your existence is not a problem. Your voice is not a disturbance. Your presence is not too much. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Translation: if you're going to grow, if you're going to rise, you have to be okay being misunderstood. You have to be willing to stand in your truth, even if others don't get it. Even if they call you too intense, too ambitious, too different. That's the price of authenticity. But it's also the birthplace of freedom. Because when you stop apologizing for who you are, something incredible happens. You start owning who you are. And when you own who you are, you stop needing permission to be powerful. You stop waiting for the world to validate your value. You walk with clarity. You move with purpose. You show up with presence. No more shrinking. No more explaining your worth to people committed to misunderstanding you. No more guilt for wanting more, for dreaming big, for evolving beyond who you used to be. You do not owe anyone a watered-down version of yourself. Be bold enough to be seen. Be brave enough to stand alone. Be strong enough to stop apologizing. Because the more you apologize for your truth, the more permission you give others to ignore it. So, starting today, drop the apologies. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Take up space, even if it makes others uncomfortable. Live fully, even if you've been told to tone it down. You were not put here to please. You were put here to live. Affirmation: I am done apologizing for who I am. I embrace my truth fully. You don't need to earn your right to exist. You already do. Now stand tall, speak up, show up. The world needs the real you, not the version that plays small. Number 6, master your emotions to command your life. Emotional control is not about pretending you don't feel. It's not about being cold or detached. It's about mastering your response, not being mastered by your reactions. You see, every time you let anger, fear, or anxiety hijack your mind, you hand over the steering wheel of your life. You give your power away to circumstances, to people, to impulses. And before you know it, you're living in reaction, not intention. But here's what most never realize. True strength lies in stillness. Power isn't found in the loudest voice or the biggest outburst. It's found in the person who can stand in chaos and remain centered, calm, grounded. Seneca taught, "He who is brave is free." And what is bravery, really? It's not just facing danger or hardship. Bravery is staying composed when everything in you wants to lash out. Bravery is walking away from petty arguments. Bravery is choosing peace when others provoke war. Because the moment you master your emotions, you reclaim your life. The Stoics understood this deeply. They trained their minds not to be emotionless, but emotionally sovereign. They taught that your judgment, not the event itself, determines your experience. Marcus Aurelius put it this way: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You can't control what life throws at you, but you can control how you catch it. You can't stop others from being rude, disrespectful, or reactive, but you can choose how you rise above it. And that choice, that moment of pause, is where your power lives. Think about it. Every time you respond instead of react, you train your nervous system to obey you. You build inner discipline. You become the calm in the storm, the eye of the hurricane, unshakable, unbothered, in command. This isn't about being passive. It's about being deliberate. It's about shifting from being emotionally hijacked to emotionally intelligent. Because when you become the master of your emotions, you become the master of your life. Affirmation: I respond with wisdom, not reaction. I am in full control of my emotions. So, breathe before you speak, pause before you act, choose clarity over chaos, and every time you do, you strengthen the warrior within. The world can't rattle a soul that refuses to hand over its peace. Be that soul. Be that presence. Master your emotions and watch your life transform. Number 7. Become the mirror. You want the world to reflect. You don't get what you want from the world. You get what you are. If you want the world to treat you with respect, dignity, and love, then you must become the kind of person who already lives those truths. You must embody what you seek. The world doesn't respond to your wishes. It responds to your energy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." You don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to explain why you deserve more. You show it with your walk, with your presence, with the way you handle pain, pressure, and power. When you live with integrity, the world notices. When you love yourself loudly, without arrogance but with grounded peace, you raise the bar for how others are allowed to treat you. Because people don't treat you based on your potential. They treat you based on your standard. So, set a higher one. Hold your head high, not because you're better than anyone, but because you've remembered who you are. You no longer betray yourself for approval. You no longer water down your truth to avoid discomfort. When you operate from self-respect, the world mirrors it back. People who once ignored you begin to pay attention. Opportunities that passed you by now open up. Because energy doesn't lie, and the energy of someone who fully sees their value is magnetic. Don't wait. Lead. Be the calm you want in your relationships. Be the strength you want in your friendships. Be the kindness, the discipline, the love, the focus. Be the mirror. If the world is cold, be the fire. If people are fake, be real. If the world is loud, be the stillness that commands attention without making noise. You are the blueprint. You are the message. You are the mirror. Let your life reflect what you believe about yourself, not what others expect of you. Stop asking, "Why don't they treat me better?" And start asking, "Where can I treat myself better?" Because it begins with you. Upgrade your thoughts, upgrade your habits, upgrade your posture, your tone, your boundaries. And watch what happens. Watch how people respond to you differently. Not because they've changed, but because you did. Affirmation: I am the mirror. I reflect strength, dignity, and self-love. You don't chase the world. You teach the world who you are. By example, by energy, by embodiment. And when you do that, the world has no choice but to reflect back your power. You've just unlocked 7 powerful truths that can reshape how the world treats you. But let's be clear. Information without application is just noise. Nothing changes until you do. This isn't about pretending to be confident. This isn't about faking strength or putting on a mask. This is about stepping into who you truly are, without apology, without hesitation. It's about deciding right now that you are no longer available for disrespect, no longer available for toxic people, negative self-talk, or self-doubt, no longer available for a watered-down life. This is where the old version of you dies, and the real you takes the lead. Because the truth is simple. The world treats you how you treat yourself. The world reflects your standards, your energy, your identity. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." So, what if today you upgraded those thoughts? What if today you began to speak to yourself with power, to move with presence, to believe in your worth, not tomorrow, but now? Because the moment you see yourself as enough, the world does too. Your tone shifts, your presence deepens, your confidence becomes quiet, but undeniable. That energy radiates, and people feel it even if they don't understand it. You won't need to chase approval because you'll be walking in alignment. And that's what changes everything. The posture of someone who respects themselves. The words of someone who honors their boundaries. The energy of someone who's done playing small. Let this video be your reminder. You don't need to wait. You don't need permission. You don't need another reason to believe in yourself. You are the reason. You are the permission. You are the moment that shifts everything. So, if this message lit a fire inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel. And most importantly, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because this is how we rise. Together. Every time you raise your standard, every time you choose self-worth over self-doubt, every time you decide you're no longer available for less, you don't just change your life, you change the world around you. This isn't motivation, this is alignment, this is power, this is you, reborn. Your perception creates your reality. So today, see yourself as powerful, see yourself as worthy, see yourself as the leader of your life, and watch how the world follows your lead. You are not here to play small. You are here to embody greatness. Let the world treat you accordingly. Your transformation begins now.